Hello, good evening, everyone. This is SeeWing and welcome to tonight's webinar. We're going to talk about the Grove Resort. Thank you, everyone, for logging in to this presentation. And let's do some housekeeping just a little bit. Now, this presentation is going to be approximately 30 minutes long, maybe slightly longer. Then, you have, for those of you who are attending, you have an opportunity to type in your questions on the chat box at the lower right hand corner of your computer. And then you can ask us any questions you wish. And hopefully, we should have the time. We should, if the presentation by Nick is going to take 30 minutes or so, then we have at least 20 minutes or more to address Q&A. So before I begin, again, this is right now is 6:30 p.m. No, 6:36 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Nick Rohrback is in Florida right now, 3 hours ahead, which is 9:30 p.m. I don't know how late he sleeps, but he have
Hmm.
delayed his sleep for at least another hour or so. And I'm still here in Hawaii, in my vacation condo here. So right now in Hawaii is 3:37 p.m. Afternoon. I just finished my lunch, by the way. Anyway, so everybody's in different time zone. That's the beauty of technology and doing webinar like this. We can be in anywhere in the world. We can communicate with each other, and we could do business, whatever it takes, right? So without further ado, I'm gonna introduce you my Grove Resort consultant, Mr. Nick Rohrback. Before he come on, just I want to share with you, I have the pleasure of working with him and Jean Gillum. Jean Gillum will not be able to make this evening. I guess she need her beauty sleep. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But Nick will have been presenting for our group for the past, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months now. And Nick and Jean, they come to the Bay Area like once every 2.5 months, and many of you already met with him on a one-on-one basis. In fact, some of you already purchased your units through him recently, and for those of you who are attending for the first time, even if you have never met with Nick and Jean when they come over to the Bay Area, now is an opportunity for you to hear from Nick and his unique perspective. He know everything about to know about the Grove Resort, and he will open up the curtain, if you will, and be transparent about what his presentation. He will spill the bean. He will be as blunt as necessary, and he will take any challenges and answer any questions you have. But the bottom line is, I love this investment opportunity. It's something different than our cookie cutter, turnkey, single family home kind of opportunities we've been presenting. But so Grove Resort is a little bit different, but it's a condo hotel, it's a vacation resort kind of investment opportunity, a little bit higher price than usual. But at the end of the day, it's all about having the ability to make money, to achieve your wealth, and to have a low risk investment that allow you to make money in terms of cash flow and potential for appreciation. And Grove Resort, I believe, will give you that opportunity. And only time will tell, but giving what I've learned and the research and due diligence that I have done with Grove Resort here in Orlando, and working with Nick and Jean Gillum, for a while now, I feel very confident and very excited, very passionate to continue to offer this opportunity. So I'm not going to speak any longer. I mean, I'm running out of breath. So I'm going to let Nick Auerbach take it away. Nick, can you hear me? By the way, the audience, if you can hear Nick, you might want to type type in on a chat box to make sure that our audio is good and everything else, and make sure that you can hear us. By the way, we can record this webinar, so and the replay will be available in the next few days. So sometimes it's worth it to hear our video, more than once, right? To really digest and have clarity around our presentation. Okay, so without further ado, Nick Auerbach, take it away and do what you got to do.
Wonderful. Thanks, SeeWing. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to everyone who's attending tonight. I know it is a little late on my end of the world, but I'm very used to dealing with California investors. We've been dealing with a lot of investment groups, and the majority of buyers here at the Grove have been domestic. So let me tell you a little bit about the history. I've been with the Grove, well, the BTI Partners, who's the developer, for the last year and a half. And let me tell you, really, I'm going to start with the history of the property, why the opportunity lies, why it exists, and what makes us so much different as far as in the Orlando market. So in 2007, 8, 9, this property was built, and it was all sold to UK investors. So what you're looking at right now is a bird's eye view of if you took a helicopter up out of Magic Kingdom and you look down on our property, this is what you would see. We're 3.8 miles from the gates of Disney World. So we're that close to Disney World. So again, going back to in 2007, 8, 9, this property was built and constructed. And one of the things that I feel is so different in the market is that there's 7 stories, okay? There's no stick construction. It's all poured concrete and steel, top to bottom. So that's significant. So the property that you're looking at is 110 acres. The buildings consist of 66 acres, and it's all built, again, like I mentioned. But we opened on March 10th, okay? So March 10th is when we opened our doors to the first phase, 180 rooms. And I want to mention that we've been operating at 100% occupancy since we've opened, okay? So all the land you see, all the trees, everything around it is undevelopable land. And those views that you cannot find anywhere else in Orlando are going to be maintained for a long time to come. So to the left of the image that you're seeing now is where you enter. My office is, I don't know if I think you can see my mouse, is right up here. This is where the water park's going to consist. 7 acres, $15 million in there, and I'm going to go through that a little bit later. But when you enter the property, let me back up a second. I'm sorry, it is a little late. So this property was built again 2007, 8, 9, and 10. 870 units is what this property consists of. They were all sold to UK investors. No one closed on a transaction. The previous developer owed $180 million on the property. So he turned in the keys. And in 2013, BTI Partners, the company that I represent, purchased the asset for $30 million. So 180 to 30. This is where the $100 million advantage point came and was created in the marketplace. So we're able to put another 100 million into the property and offer these units at this price per square foot. If we were to rebuild this property or replicate it, the prices per square foot would be double or triple what they are now. So Margaritaville, Planet Hollywood, all these other places that are trying to come to market and they're 3 years out are double or triple the price per square foot. So when you enter the property here, you come down here and you enter a 24/7 guard gate, and you enter the rotunda. And this is phase 1, building 5A, 5B, 6A, 6B. These units, and back here is Lake Austin. It's a 20-acre private lake. We have all sorts of activities out here that I'm going to go over. But these units here are the prime units that have firework views. Okay, so this right now is our operating hotel with the lobby here and our 8,000 square feet of convention space here. So the neat part about this is as we build, everything's constructed. So a lot of people have been burnt in the past with projects, condo-hotel. We understand. We deal with a lot of investment clubs that specialize in just single-family turnkey properties, long-term holds, this and that, but they've adapted very well to this property because of who's involved. BTI Partners, when we acquired this asset for $30 million, we're backed by one of the largest hedge funds in the country. It's called Westport Capital. Okay, so there's not a construction loan on the property whatsoever. So as we build out, there's 4 phases, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and the estimated sellout time is 3 years. So the thing that makes us different is typically you see a developer go in, they develop a property, they sell out all the units, and then they leave. And then the property starts to deteriorate, et cetera, et cetera. We are going to maintain ownership in the common areas. So we have an invested interest in the integrity of the property for the decades to come. So I'm going to go into the management company briefly. I'm trying to keep it short, but there's a lot of different aspects involved in this particular property, but it's very simple to secure a unit. So the one thing I also want to point out why I'm here is the parking. So the parking, if you can see my mouse, there's 1, 2, and 3 garages. So the parking lots are in the middle of the buildings. So there's not a view of a parking lot. And the other unique thing is that you can park on the same floor as your unit. Remember I said it's 7 stories high. So that the way they designed this is genius. And they built this like bunkers. So it's all concrete, solid concrete, and I'm going to keep going. So, okay. So when I talk to a lot of these investment groups, what they talk about is getting in front of growth also. It's not just about why the Grove is great, but also what's going on around Disney World. Up around here is the last developable area or land around Disney World. All down here, 192. We're in Orange County. Okay, Orange County backs up to Osceola County right here, and that's where we're located. Currently, you come out of our property, you take a left, and then you take a right on Hartzog Road, and 3.8 miles, you end up right at the gates of Disney. And on Easter is when Avatar World is opening. It's a new attraction in Animal Kingdom. I'm sure everyone's heard of Avatar. That they spent $1 billion on. They're going to have their own fireworks, 365 nights a year fireworks show. From our property, you're going to see Magic Kingdom and Avatar World's fireworks shows nightly. But my point, we also have daily shuttle service, which I'll explain a little bit. But the biggest thing is why all this growth is happening is because Disney World, by the end of 2018, right here, 4 miles up from the mouth of our resort, they're expanding and opening a 4-lane major entranceway to the gates of Disney. So all of this growth up here, all throughout here is, again, the last developable area around Disney World. So I'm going to explain the incentives and everything we have going on, but you need to come and see this property and experience the property to really get everything that I'm talking about right now. Because I take you out here, we go for a drive, you see all the big name builders, Lennar, Polte, all these people, they're putting 4,000 houses all throughout here. So you're getting in front of the growth. And this is what a lot of these clubs are talking about. So again, BTI Partners, that's who I represent. We're backed by Westport Capital, one of the largest hedge funds in the country. Again, no debt on the property. But I encourage everyone to reach out to me and my contact information, SeeWing, and I will send you the links to the players involved. And one of the other things I want to mention is these other groups, not just SeeWings, but these other investment clubs have adapted this well. We've sold 200 units in the last 7 months. There's going to be 870 units total. But we've sold 200 units in the last 7 months, and the majority are domestic. Then we have Brazilian, then we have China. But my biggest thing is, why is this different from what other people have experienced in the past? And it's because of how we have acquired the property, and it's because of who backs us. Again, there's no debt on the property. So I'm going to go right into the management company. This is the reason why everything works. Benchmark Hospitality. I sell the real estate. BTI is the developer. That's who acquired the property, and that's what we do. Benchmark Hospitality is your partner, your business partner. This is the reason why so many people are purchasing, because of the hands-off, turnkey nature of this investment. It's not a single-family home. It's not this. The long-term maintenance is something you will not have to worry about when you're sleeping at night. Benchmark is the largest privately owned hotel management company in the country. It says 55 resorts here. This past year in 2016, they acquired a company called Gemstone, and now they're at 74 properties, 74 resorts, if you will, and 5 billion instead of 3 billion under management. So it makes them the largest privately owned hotel management company in the country. This is why people are purchasing, because again, we opened March 10th and we've been operating at 100% occupancy. Now, Benchmark's been in business 40 years, and I'll provide all the information for their portfolio and their history, but they have the wholesale outlets that they know how to launch a resort. Okay. They have 4 or 5 other kind of hotels in their portfolio, but they know how to launch a resort to the public, to the market. They utilize Expedia, they utilize Orbitz, all these different wholesale. Thomas Cook personally was here, staying at the property. That's one of the largest UK travel agencies, in the UK. But that's what's fulfilling and maximizing our occupancy now. But the average occupancy in the area for properties that do not compare to what we're offering. The smallest unit that we have at the Grove is 1,300 square feet. We have 2 bars, restaurants, full transportation to Disney, water park. And this is the opportunity for investors also, is to get in before all this happens. So we just opened March 10th without our water park, which is going to open in the fall, and without our restaurant, which is Valencia Restaurant, which will open in June. So these things we've opened without these amenities, so the prices are set accordingly. So your opportunity is to get in now, and the developer is going to continue to increase prices all along the way. So you do not want to wait to secure a unit, because over the next 6, again, fall. So once that water park opens and there's families floating down the lazy river, there's more and more growth. This is the opportunity to get in early. So Benchmark currently manages, for the last 20 years, I got to specify that, 20 years, the Villas of Grand Cypress. This is a resort in Orlando, and they have been, for the last 3 years, the #1 rated resort on TripAdvisor. Their average occupancy is 84%, and their average nightly rate is $400 a night. So this is just something you want to say, oh, does Benchmark know the Orlando market? Yes. We've been there for 20 years, and we've been on top for the last 3, averaging 84% occupancy at $400 a night. This is something that when we talk about return on investment, we need to look at occupancy rate and nightly rate. Okay. So a little bit more about the facilities. You come in here, you come through, there's a huge fountain in here. I'll show you the office space here, 8,000 square feet of convention space. When you talk about a project of this size, one of the things that sets us apart is the ability to accommodate large group business. So we have an affiliate 4 miles up the road. It's a world-renowned golf course called Orange County National. Once a year, they put on an event that brings in 30,000 people alone. So Orlando, I don't know if anyone who's listening knows, is the #2 city, if you will, for convention business, Las Vegas being #1. Orlando is number 2. 66 million people came to Orlando, Florida last year. That's by far the largest visited city in the country, if not in the world. So this size of a project lends itself well to economies of scale. So owners, which adds to your returns, which adds to your savings, can experience all sorts of aspects when it talks about economies of scale, HOA dues, and everything like that. That's why it's lower than the average. And I'll get into that in a second. So this is a rendering, which in the next couple days, I'm going to have real photos. This looks amazing. It's a very high-end contemporary space, but it doesn't do it justice. It looks just like this, if not better. So in the back bar, Zest bar back here, you check in. There's daily housekeeping. It's a hotel. So every night, they're going to change the sheets, change the lotions, change the soaps, concierge service. And we have full shuttle service to Disney for the guests, which is free of charge. Not another resort in the area has these accommodations. So this is Elements Lounge. It's the back bar. Again, Benchmark coming in with, it's all about guest consistency and experience, online reviews, et cetera, et cetera. Benchmark knows how to manage all of that. So all the drinks that are made at the bar is freshly squeezed juices. And look at some of these things. It's what keeps people coming back. So the springs, they named these pools. These were existing pools. We renovated them all. To the left is the adult pool, family pool, private spa, and they made this a kiddie pool because the water park's a little intense, which I'm going to go into a little bit. But this is a zero entry pool with water cannons, a slide. Out here on the dock, they have swans, they have pontoon boats you can rent, they have canoes, all sorts of water activities out here. We own this lake. There's no other access to the lake besides here. So the fishing is excellent. Also for the kids, we have an arcade and game room. It's 5,000 square feet. There's a full service activity center, which will provide additional activities for the family, couples, and also kids. This is Valencia. This is our full service restaurant. Again, this will open in June. So here's just some examples. The wood-fired pizza is supposed to be amazing. The sushi. Again, out on the lake, we have fishing tours. But here's the safari water park. So this is what I like to focus on. This is what's going to drive revenue for investors. This is what's going to keep our occupancy far higher than average. So to the left, the bottom left, you see a surf simulator. You see those on cruise ships, okay? We bought 2 of them. They cost us $1.4 million alone, okay? My office sits over here. So we're going to look right out over here. And then this is a 4,000 square foot bar and grill. It's called Longboard Bar and Grill. It's an open air concept, fans, flat screens, you know, great place to catch a beer. And then this up here is the 3-story clubhouse. This, we're going to have a whole story dedicated to fitness center. So this is a significant asset to the property. Here's a 25,000 square foot zero entry pool, 800-foot lazy river, 2-story water slides, and your kiddie area, your splash area. 7 acres. So when we talk about why the Grove is different from all the other resorts in the area, you know, what we're compared to is Disney resorts and the Waldorf. So when you look at Disney resorts, they don't have these amenities, for one. 2, they're $600-700 a night. We're 3 miles from Disney. We have full shuttle transportation. Families want large accommodations in a hotel setting where they do not have to spend money for the amenities that they're getting. That's why these nightly rates and this occupancy is going to be much higher than average. So when you talk about unit types, there's 4 different units, okay? That's it. Simple. There's no upgrade package. There's nothing. They're all consistent, so the guest experience is the same for every unit. So there's two bedrooms, sorry, and 2 3-bedroom units. And this is what they're designed for. The smallest unit is 1,300 square feet, and the largest unit is 1,600 square feet. Here's an example of what it looks like in the interior. There's flat screens in each room. There's a pull-out couch in the living room. So a 2-bedroom sleeps 6, a 3-bedroom sleeps 8. There's brand new appliances, GE stainless steel. There's full-size Whirlpool washer and dryers in the pantry, which is exceptionally large. And some of the units have firework views to Disney. Again, we're 3.8 miles, so this is what it looks like from the balcony of some of the units. So I included in here some of the performas. So when you look at returns and what can an investor expect, it's all about occupancy rate and nightly rate. So I have much more additional information as far as our rate cards, what we're booking our hotels at, and also the average occupancy in the area. So when you look at a purchase price, an average purchase price of $300,000, the down payment has now been reduced to 20% minimum. The occupancy, if we look at here, is 80% that I'm looking at. That's 292 nights a year as a nightly rate of $275. When you go into the rental program with Benchmark, okay, they take 45% of the revenue and the owner gets 55%. The other thing I want to mention is that there's no restriction, there's no blackout dates for owner usage whatsoever. So you as an investor can also use your unit at your discretion. So one of the things that Benchmark, you're partnering up with them. So they manage, there's an algorithm, a sophisticated algorithm. Everything's managed through the front desk. So if you and I own the same unit, 2-bedroom resort view, there's 3 different views: resort view, deluxe view, and premium view. So if you and I each own a 2-bedroom resort view, we're not going to compete unless you use your unit more than I do. And that algorithm takes into consideration how the revenue is distributed. So let's go back to this. So 80% occupancy, $275 a night, annual revenue $80,000. Benchmark takes 45% for their management services. There's a 4% reserve fund, which is set aside to refurbish the units every 3 to 5 years. So you don't have to worry about that expense either. And that continues to keep that guest experience consistent. We don't have to worry about billing these owners, etc. So you left with 51%, which is $41,000. Then you have, here's your expenses. HOA, I want to talk about that. So there's 4 different models. The least expensive is $528, $550, $580, and $645. So it depends on which model you choose. But the HOA includes your electricity bill, your cable bill, your Wi-Fi, your pest control, your exterior building insurance, and your water and sewer. So you have no bills outside of this HOA. That's why everyone's buying, is not only because of the management company, but also the hands-off turnkey nature of this thing. Benchmark handles everything. So your HOA covers all of that. There's a one-time-a-year annual deep clean fee of $450. That's when they move the beds, the dressers, everything. They charge you for that. That's fine. And then your interior insurance is inexpensive. It's $750 a year. That just covers your interior contents and your liability. You have a mortgage payment. Average mortgage payment's $1,100 to $1,200. And then your taxes. Your property taxes are 1.75%. of the purchase price. That's for each. I'm sorry. So this was for 80% occupancy at 275 a night. The cash flow here at the bottom right is 1172 per month. That's at 80% occupancy, which is the average in the area. Then they went 75%, 959 per night. And then 70%, 750 cash flow per night or per month. So that is a brief look at the performance from 70, 75, 80 at a $275 a night, which 2 bedrooms range from 250 to 275. 3 bedrooms range from 300 to 350. I have an owner right now who's coming to the property, and I want to talk a little bit real quick just about incentives. So right now we're offering $7,500 towards closing costs to anyone who wants to purchase a unit. It's very easy to secure a unit because they're limited as far as we just released the first 54 units in phase 2. Okay, they're being bought up. We're about to release the second 54 units in phase 2, which makes 108. All I need to secure a unit, once I show you the inventory, it's a link. It's a live link. You can look at it, prices and everything, is $5,000 on a credit card. That will secure your unit. Then I put you in touch. I give you 30 to 45 days to come out to do a site approval. It's fully refundable. And I put you in contact with our lender, and she will get you pre-approved and everything like that. The nice part about the lender is she doesn't charge any origination fees, and it's free to do so. So if you're worried about getting approved or anything like that, she'll do that, obviously, free of charge. And then closing for phase 2, those units are being delivered in June. So that's when we would be closing on those units. Just some things about the occupancy in the area. A lot of people always ask me, Nick, so what is the worst case scenario here? Everything sounds great. What is the worst case? I mean, what are we talking about? Because, everything seems like a full circle, and that's why I love it. But the biggest thing is, you look at the recession that we went through in 2008, 2009, 10, 11, and you look at, there's a third-party company called the Star Report, which I'll send anyone who's interested. I'm sure SeeWing will pass along my information, but it's called the Star Report. And that third-party company looks at the average occupancy in the area for resorts and things like that. So when you look at those recession times, and that was one of the worst ones we've been in, and that's really the only thing that you should hesitate here is the worst case scenario is we go through another recession. But the occupancy rates in that time frame, because of Walt Disney World and the strength that it brings, did not fall below 65% occupancy over all of Orlando. So, something like that is significant when you're talking about recession proof. And the reason why condo hotels work in certain markets is because of the high occupancy rates. And that's why Disney World works. Las Vegas and also Orlando. Those are the 2 biggest things. If you guys have any questions, feel free to type them in at the bottom. But again, okay, I want to mention one other thing. So I said $7,500 towards closing costs. We just launched our new program called the Fly and Buy program. We're giving everyone a $3,000 credit to come out. Again, you put a security deposit down, I guess, if you will, $5,000, which is refundable, and I give you 30 to 45 days to come out and check out the property. Everyone who's come loves it. We're open now. I can't wait to show it to you. I strongly encourage you to come out because it's just made it, people have bought in second units. So that's refundable. That's good. But we also are going to honor $3,000 towards your travel expenses, towards your closing costs, in addition to the $7,500. Those are the current incentives that are going on right now. And then again, you're getting in, just as we're releasing phase 2, So the prices are going to continue to appreciate because the developer will continue to raise prices on a monthly basis over the next 3 years, and that's how long it's going to take to sell this out. Maybe two. It depends on we've had significant momentum in the last 3 months, so I kind of want to open it up to questions and answers at this point. And SeeWing, if you have anything else to add in that I missed, let me know.
Nick, did you? Yeah, I do have a question. Nick, do you have the price point for those the model plan you just disclosed? What are
Well,
the?
the least expensive SeeWing, the unit is 290,000, just under 300,000.
All right. Yeah. So so in terms of the financing, what are the interest rates that Francine typically provide for the owners on a loan?
So the interest rates that Francine provides, we can do one unit as a second home, and those rates are in the mid fives. And we can do 20% down. And then if you buy a second unit, it's classified as an investment property. It's a little bit different. It's in the upper fives.
Right. Yeah. There's currently there's no questions yet. We still have a lot of time, people out there. If you can type in your chat box with questions right now, Nick and I will be more than happy to answer them. But meanwhile, as we wait for hopefully some questions, a couple of things I would like to add. The cash flow analysis that Nick provided, even at these very realistic nightly rates, which is under $300, which is great value, and the occupancy rate of 70 to 75 to 80%. If you look at the numbers, if you look at the net cash flow minus all the expenses, when I look at this, because I'm a number cruncher, that's what I do. Uh, all the scenarios, 70 to 75 to 80% occupancy rate, the net cash flow is pretty attractive. If you look at the from the capitalization rate perspective, is anywhere from, based on my calculation, around 7 to 10% cap rate, which is very very good as an investment, no matter what it is. Single family home or multi units is I have a very very similar comparison, if not a little bit higher in terms of the cash flow, and also let me see what else. Yeah, and cash on cash return is probably a double digit, around 15% cash on cash return, and total ROI is also very attractive. A couple of more things. If you guys want to purchase with your self-directed IRA, at this particular moment, only the full purchase price is allowed because the non-recourse lenders that we have need to have at least a 1 year track record of the rental rates and the cash flow before they will open up non-recourse lending on the IRAs. So I will keep you posted down the road. But again, if you want to purchase these units with IRA, it has to be a full purchase price. If you want to purchase a $290,000 unit, you need around $290,000 of self-directed IRA. So otherwise, yeah, 20% down payment is required if you have less than four mortgages based on the Fannie Mae lending guideline. If you have more than four mortgages total, you have to put 25% down payment. The first loan, I believe, according to Francine, our loan agent, is a very good conventional rate, mid 5%, which is very very still very good rate. And if you do a second unit, it'll be a little bit higher based on the lending guideline, because Condo-Hotel have a different sort of a underwriting guideline associated with lending. So, but still, the numbers still work. No matter
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't let the rate discourage you at all, because Francine, we have several options for you, even no doc and all that. So don't let that discourage at all, because no matter the rate, there's still a lot of cash flow. We've been operating, literally, we've been open since March 10th, and we've been at 100% occupancy. I can't stress enough how significant that is. And I really encourage everyone to take advantage of this travel credit. If you're interested, just, get in touch with me, and so we can answer your questions and get you set up.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, still no questions from the audience, so I can only assume that Nick has have done an excellent presentation. Nick's objective is to provide as much information as possible for you folks out there to make an informed decision, and whatever additional research and due diligence you want to enter into, let us know, because I certainly have done my research and due diligence over the past 9 months working with Nick, and we have a fair number of great clients that purchase already, and we expect you to have a very positive experience. And so before I'll ask Nick for his recap and summary of this presentation. My thoughts is that again, this is a short term and good long term investment. If you want to sell your unit after a couple of years, you know that in every phase of this construction, the prices will be higher, so you can have a built-in equity down the road for the next few years. If you want to sell your unit in a couple of years, by all means you should be able to profit a little bit of money, but but the ideal world will be buy and hold long term, so you can achieve the cash flow and even a little bit of appreciation. And of course, for those of you that love to travel like me, right? I mean, love to have the lifestyle, going to resorts and tropical places and Hawaii doesn't matter, or Florida or the Caribbean. In this Grove unit, like Nick said, you can enjoy the unit yourself. Bring yourself and your large family, and a family of 6 to 8 can occupy this nice luxury condo, 1,300 square foot. I mean, is a luxury living. Enjoy all the amenities in great Disney World, all the amenities, attractions. And what a great time to you know to use your unit for your personal usage for a few weeks out of the year, and the rest of the time just rent it out to people and get pay and earn money from your investment. So, Nick, you can you provide the audience with your recap and your summary and the next step for everybody?
Sure. So to recap, it's the newest, you know, vacation investment, hands-off, turnkey property that really you can't find out there in the market. So if you're interested, I highly encourage you to contact me directly so we can walk through the details. I can answer all your questions and get you narrowed down on a unit before they sell. And we will set up a time. Again, it's refundable, the 5 grand that we need to secure a unit, but it's a due diligence period for 30, 45 days. We will compensate you for your travel expenses. And it's just something that's so unique out there that you won't, again, I say it all the time, you will not find something as hands off, turnkey, that will provide cash flow, and also something that's a legacy for your family that you can pass down, um, investment near Disney World. So, again, it's all due to our entry point, is why we were able to pass on. Everyone should have been buying property in 2011, 12, and this is an opportunity to do it. So, SeeWing will provide my information to everybody. I really appreciate everyone's time. So, let me know if you need anything. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Nick, so much for the presentation. I found it very, very informative. So I hope the audience as well. So thank you for everyone for attending. I know, uh, hopefully you receive value from this presentation. If you want to take the next step, you know where to find me. I'm very accessible by email, text, and phone call, and Nick as well. So and Jean Gillum, of course, you can contact her as well. So thank you so much. And have a good evening, good luck, and looking forward to working with each and one of you. And good night.